By this point in the course, you have explored Google Analytics through its demo account and practiced identifying key metrics within the platform. You now know where to find data related to traffic, user behavior, and conversion. The next essential skill is knowing how to extract that data from Google Analytics and store it in a place where it can be shared, reviewed, or reused. This tutorial focuses precisely on that, exporting a report from Google Analytics and saving it to Google Drive. This is a foundational operational skill. In a real professional context, you will often need to share performance reports with a client, a manager, or a team member who does not have direct access to Google Analytics. You may also need to archive data on a monthly basis, or compare figures across different periods. Exporting and storing reports properly is part of a rigorous, professional approach to digital marketing monitoring. Why exporting reports matters. Google Analytics is a live tool. The data it displays is dynamic and changes constantly as new sessions are recorded. If you want to freeze a snapshot of performance at a specific moment, say, the traffic figures for the month of October, you need to export that data. Without exporting, you risk losing the ability to compare or share that precise moment in time. Beyond archiving, exporting is useful for presenting data in a clean, readable format during a client meeting, importing figures into a spreadsheet for further calculations or visualizations, sending a performance summary to a stakeholder who does not use Google Analytics, keeping a record of results linked to a specific campaign or time period. Saving those exports to Google Drive adds another layer of value. The file becomes accessible from any device, can be shared with specific collaborators with controlled permissions, and can be organized into clearly labeled folders for easy retrieval. Understanding the Google Analytics interface before exporting. Before you can export anything, you need to navigate to the correct report within Google Analytics. Google Analytics organizes its data into several main sections, accessible from the left-hand navigation menu. The most commonly used sections for reporting purposes include Reports, where you find pre-built overviews of acquisition, engagement, monetization, and retention. Explore, where you can build custom analyses. Advertising, where you connect Google Analytics data with Google Ads campaigns. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will focus on the Reports section, which is the most immediately useful for beginners and for producing shareable performance summaries. Within Reports, you might navigate to a view such as Acquisition greater than Traffic Acquisition to see where your users are coming from, organic search, direct, referral, paid search, and so on. Or you might look at Engagement greater than Pages and Screens to see which pages on the website receive the most visits. These are concrete, practical reports that a digital marketing professional would regularly export and review. Step 1. Open the report you want to export. Log into your Google Analytics account and access the property you are working on. If you are using the demo account, which you have already been introduced to, navigate to it via the account selector at the top left of the screen. From the left-hand menu, click on Reports, then select the report category relevant to your need. For example, to export a traffic overview, click on Acquisition in the left menu, then on Traffic Acquisition. You will see a table showing the different traffic channels alongside metrics such as the number of sessions, engaged sessions, average engagement time, and conversions. Before exporting, make sure you have selected the correct date range. The date range selector is located in the upper right corner of the screen. You can choose preset ranges such as the last 7 days or the last 28 days, or you can define a custom range by clicking on the calendar and entering specific start and end dates. For example, if you want to report on the month of September 2023, you would set the range from September 1, 2023 to September 30, 2023. This step is critical. An export always reflects exactly what is displayed on screen at the moment of export, so the date range must be correct before you proceed. Step 2. Use the export function in Google Analytics. Once you are on the correct report and have confirmed the date range, look for the export icon. In Google Analytics, the current version, also known as Google Analytics 4, the export option is represented by a small download icon located in the upper right area of the report screen, near the Share and Customize icons. Click on the export icon. A drop-down menu will appear with several format options. PDF, portable document format, best for sharing a visual, non-editable snapshot of the report as it appears on screen. Google Sheets, exports the data directly into a Google Sheets spreadsheet, ideal for further manipulation and calculation. CSV, separated values, a plain text format compatible with most data tools and spreadsheet applications including Microsoft Excel. Excel, XLSX, the native Microsoft Excel format. For most digital marketing reporting use cases, Google Sheets is the most practical choice because it integrates directly with Google Drive, enables collaboration, and allows you to add formulas, charts, and additional formatting without needing to convert the file. However, if your client uses Microsoft Excel or if you need to send a static file by email, the CSV or Excel formats are appropriate. For this tutorial, select Google Sheets. Google Analytics will automatically generate a new spreadsheet and open it in a new browser tab. The exported spreadsheet will include the data from the report you're reviewing, organized in rows and columns. Each row typically represents a dimension, for example, a traffic channel such as organic search or direct, and each column represents a metric, for example, sessions, engaged sessions, or conversions. Step 3. Review and organize the exported spreadsheet. Once the spreadsheet is open in Google Sheets, take a moment to review its content. You will notice that the data is raw and minimally formatted. There may be some introductory rows at the top with the report name, the date range, and the name of the Google Analytics property. Below that, you will find the column headers and the data rows. It is good professional practice to rename the spreadsheet clearly, for example, Traffic Acquisition Report, September 23, property name. Add a brief note in a cell at the top specifying the date range and the source of the data. Delete any unnecessary rows or columns that are not relevant to your reporting goal. Apply basic formatting such as bold headers and number formatting for large figures to make the document more readable. These small but important steps make the document far more useful when shared with others and demonstrate professional rigor. Step 4. Save the file to Google Drive. When you export a report to Google Sheets from Google Analytics, the resulting file is automatically saved in your Google Drive. It will appear in the root of your drive, which is the main default location. However, leaving all your exported files in the root of Drive without organization will quickly become unmanageable. To save the file to a specific folder in Google Drive, follow these steps. First, go to Google Drive by navigating to drive.google.com in your browser. If you do not already have a dedicated folder for your analytics reports, create one. To create a new folder, click the button labeled New in the upper left corner of Google Drive, then select Folder. Name the folder clearly, for example, GA Reports, Client Name, or Monthly Performance Reports. Next, locate the file you just exported. You can find it by clicking on Recent in the left-hand menu of Google Drive, where your most recently created or modified files appear. Right-click on the file, then click on Move to. A navigation panel will appear allowing you to browse your Drive folders. Select the folder you just created, then click Move here. The file is now saved in the correct location. Alternatively, if you are already inside the Google Sheets file, you can move it directly from within the spreadsheet. Click on the folder icon that appears next to the file name at the top of the screen, in the toolbar area just below the Browser tab. This will open a small dialog box showing your drive structure, and you can select or create the destination folder directly from there. Step 5. Share the file if needed. One of the main advantages of storing your report in Google Drive is the ability to share it easily. To share the file with a colleague or client, open the spreadsheet in Google Sheets and click on the Share button in the upper right corner. A dialog box will appear where you can enter the email address of the person you want to share the file with. Choose their permission level. Viewer, they can only read the file. Commenter, they can add comments but not edit, or editor, they can modify the content. Add an optional message. Click Send. If you want to share the file with anyone who has the link, for example, to include it in a client report email without knowing their exact Google address, click on Change to Anyone with the link and set the permission level to Viewer. This generates a shareable URL that you can copy and distribute. Common mistakes to avoid. Several errors are frequent among beginners and worth highlighting explicitly. Forgetting to set the correct date range before exporting. This is the most common mistake and results in exporting data from the wrong period, which can mislead stakeholders. Exporting the wrong report. Always double-check which section of Google Analytics you are in before clicking the Export button. Leaving the file in the root of Google Drive without organizing it into a folder. This creates clutter and makes files difficult to find later. Using the PDF format when the recipient needs to work with the data. A PDF cannot be edited or used for calculations. Use Google Sheets or CSV instead when the data needs to be processed. Not renaming the exported file. Google Analytics exports often have generic default names, which become confusing when multiple reports are saved over time. Practical example to consolidate understanding. Imagine you are working as a digital marketing assistant for a company that runs an e-commerce website. Your manager asks you to provide the traffic report for the month of August, broken down by channel, showing sessions and conversions. Here is exactly what you would do. 1. Open Google Analytics and navigate to the correct property. 2. Go to Reports greater than Acquisition, greater than Traffic Acquisition. Set the date range to August 1st through August 31st. 4. Verify that the table shows the data broken down by the session default channel group dimension, with sessions and conversions visible as columns BOS 5. Click the export icon and select Google Sheets.6. In the newly created spreadsheet, rename the file, Traffic Acquisition, August 2023, e-commerce website.7. Clean up the formatting. Bold the headers, delete irrelevant introductory rows, and format numerical columns appropriately. 8. Move the file to the folder GA Reports greater than 2023 greater than August within your Google Drive. 9. Share the file with your manager by entering their email address and granting them viewer access. This entire process should take no more than 5 to 10 minutes once you are comfortable with the steps. Key takeaways. Exporting a Google Analytics report and saving it to Google Drive is a simple but professionally essential operation. It allows you to freeze data at a specific point in time, share it with others in a controlled and organized way, and maintain a clean archive of performance results over time. The most important steps to remember are selecting the correct report, setting the correct date range, choosing the appropriate export format, Google Sheets for most use cases, organizing the file in a clearly named folder in Google Drive, and sharing it with the right permissions. These habits, practiced consistently, form the backbone of professional digital marketing reporting.